Episode 13. I've just spent a whole night listening to the rain battering down on top of my tent. I was even sending emails and writing on some of the comments on YouTube because I was so wide awake. And now the sun comes out. But now the sun comes out, I've packed everything wet. Oh dear. There was no tent talk yesterday evening. One, because of the rain, and two, because I did my longest day yesterday and I was tired. I got to my campsite, which is just over there. It's only about 100 metres away. Got to my campsite having done, I don't know how many kilometres it was in the end. Probably nearly 65, maybe 70. Got to the campsite to find that they didn't have any food at all, which is not unusual. They don't have to have a restaurant or anything like that, but there was no snacks, not even packets of crisps or a chocolate bar. So I then had to get back on the trike and do another, I think by the time I got back here it was another 10 kilometres on top of that, having had some food. And then I went to the tent and crashed out, so no tent talk for that one. And I've got another long one today. I'll explain why in a little while. Meanwhile, I'm going to make most of this sun. You can hear a cuckoo in the distance. Right, I've got to make my way to a ferry, which is not far away. It's only about 5-6 kilometres away, over the other side. And then we continue like yesterday. So I will catch up with you in a bit. So why am I doing some higher mileage at the moment? Well, on checking the weather forecast, Saturday and Sunday this weekend is supposed to be absolutely atrocious weather. Again. So I booked myself into a hotel just down near Karlsruhe, and I have to get to that hotel by Friday evening, tomorrow evening, and that's still 80 miles away, 84 miles away I think, so Komoot tells me. Now I know you speedsters on your road bikes, 80 miles, you could do that in a morning. Yeah, like I said the other day, I'm over 300 pounds. I'm stopping and filming to make these videos, and I like to enjoy the view. And not to mention, of course, it's more miles than I'm used to. So now we wait for the ferry. I think there's only about one every half hour at this time of the day. Right, so for breakfast this morning we have some freshly baked goods from Werner's Family Bakery since 1954. They look very nice. Mmm. Mmm. And of course, fresh coffee. Oh. The sun's in and out of the clouds, not a bad thing. It's quite warm when it's out. I shall have to take this off after breakfast. So we're back on this similar sort of path again today, which suits me fine. Very easy riding. Thought I'd just stop and point this out. Don't know how well it'll come out on the camera, but these are poplar trees and they are absolutely full, if I can get it to focus, of mistletoe. Yeah, you can see those two outlined against the sky quite well. But in the lower branches there's loads. Mistletoe everywhere. It's in all the trees, even the ones over the back there. Absolutely full. So it's well over 20 kilometres now since I joined this path. And like I said earlier, it's easy riding. But it does get a bit samey. This goes on and on and on. So at least it hasn't rained on me yet. I thought that one was going to, but it passed me by with no more than a couple of spots. And that's the way the weather's coming from, so it looks as though we're good for a while now. My apologies if there's wind noise, I'm having to ride into the wind for a minute. Wish the path was the other side of the bank. At least I'd have the river to look at then. But there's no sign of this ending yet. It still just goes on and on. Every time I turn a corner there's another few hundred meters or few hundred yards to go through. So I shall catch up with you in a bit. So at Worms we got Worms. At Worms we got back to the river, but once again it's a bit industrialised. Lots of HGVs and pipes with goodness knows what coming out the top of them. But at least we have the river. Oh, this block paving is so juddery. I don't know whether it's holiday season or what in Germany at the moment, but it's like it's a Sunday. It's not, it's a Thursday, but there's just nobody here. All shops are closed. There's no traffic, which is a good thing. I'm certainly not complaining about that. What is today? The 30th, I think? 30th of May? I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments if it's a bank holiday or some German holiday that I don't know about. Ew. That's nice to look at, isn't it? Ugh. After all this way, I finally spotted the Eurovelo sign. They do exist. Amazing. So I'm just getting into Mannheim, and as always it only takes a couple of road closures or cycle pathway closures and commuters all over the place. Oh, we'll get there. It's just you don't need it when you're getting towards the end of a ride. Whew. It's warm now as well. Oh. So I finally made it to the bridge in Mannheim. Problem is, as like all major cities, they have roadworks and lane closures and things like that, but when they close the cycle lane, unless you're a local, you've got no chance. I mean, commute doesn't know that the lane's closed, so it doesn't know where I'm going when I go off route, and you have to find your own way. It's not good, not good at all. But we're here now anyhow. Hopefully it's clean sailing on the other side down to the campsite, which isn't far away now. Another 2 or 3 miles, I think. I should be glad to lay down in my tent. here we are, camping. So after what happened yesterday, I thought I'd use today's tent talk to talk about diet and food. What am I eating as I go along this tour? You're probably aware by now that I'm not cooking at all. I have no cooking equipment at all. I've got a spork. That's the only thing I've got on me, is a spork to use to eat things. I've got it here somewhere actually. Yeah. One spork. There we go. That's the only eating utensil I brought. That's the only eating utensil I brought along with me on this tour. So, what am I doing for food each day? Well, as I ride along through the day, I'm on my lookout for restaurants or a cafe that I can stop for my lunch. I don't generally go into the restaurants in the evenings. I get in my tent and I crash out. So what do I do for breakfasts and evening meals? Well, I find a supermarket during the daytime and I make sure that I buy enough stuff for the evening and for the following morning. Why that didn't happen yesterday, I don't know. I haven't a clue. I just blanked. I rode into the campsite and didn't think about food the whole afternoon. Guess my stomach wasn't grumbling enough. But yeah, that's basically what my diet consists of at the moment, is pastries for breakfast, whatever I can find for lunch on the way, and then diving into a supermarket and picking up one of their pre-made salads or tins of tuna fish and sweet corn and things like that, things that I can eat cold in the tent later on, and again pastries for the following morning. So I think that's about it for today. I think that must have been 2 minutes. I'll see you again in the next one. Cheers then guys. Ta-da.